Alright guys, welcome aboard. We're going to be flying from San Diego to Phoenix today. Going to do a little shakedown flight. I just finished getting my NaviGraph chart subscription, and I got that set up in the Eclipse 550 from Aerobask. So thought I'd do a quick flight here just to see how it works. So let's zoom on in here. Get down into San Diego, and we're sitting at the GA ramp here in our 550, getting ready to go. There we are. Alright, let's jump in the cockpit and get a few things set up over here. So before I start, I did have a question from one of the viewers about my graphics settings, so let me show you what those are. I promised him I would show him what I have set up. So this is what I have set up for graphics wise. He made a comment that the sim seemed very smooth. Well, you got to remember that there's like 5 million things that go into X-Plane when when you're talking about frame rates and stuff like that. Your graphics card, your CPU, what resolution you're running on, the graphics settings in here. And I found all sorts of weird things like, different plugins will do different things. But this is my graphics settings. As you can see, here's what I got set up, and it seems to run fine for me. So I'm going to hit done right there. Let's get back in the cockpit here. And one of the plugins that I do use is this one right here. Excuse me, this the Wizard 11 3J FPS Wizard 11 specifically. And I have it set up for a target of 30 frames, and it'll go above that and below it. Right now in San Diego we're hitting about 30. It's because I'm recording. That bumps it down by like say 5 frames or something like that. So usually I'm hitting in the upper 30s, hitting towards 40, even with weather and stuff like that in the background here. And I've got it set to auto, and I'm not going to go through all this configuration because that would take a while. But basically just ran the wizard over here and let it do its thing, and kind of just set it for target frame rate of 30. All right, so let's get going over here. Now, one of the things, like I said, was excuse me, my NaviGraph, and the nice thing is that I got it working, and I have it. Aerobask lets you use NaviGraph in here, so which is really nice. You click on the little thing right here, and there you go. You're in AviGraph using NaviGraph information, and so that's kind of cool. And let's see, I think I clicked back there. Let's get a few things set up here before we get fired up. So I'm just gonna check my ground or my sound right here. Everything's up at the moment. Options. I don't use TCAS, and I don't like the reflections. We'll get our chocks put away so we can start our engines. We'll leave our door open just because I like having the door open. And let's go ahead and fuel up over here. And we got one adult over here in the co-pilot seat for us for some weight. Sound, lights, shades are all up. All right, looking good. So let's see, where do I go here? I'm going to go to ground. Let's get everything set up for starting the engine. So making sure our starters are off. Everything is off down here. Cabin air / packs off. And let's get the system fired up here. Bus ties, I have no idea what the hell that does, but it does something. Alright, I like to have autopilot down here. And let's come over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to enter our flight plan. So let's go over here, start entering stuff. So we are at San Diego. KASNA. Do that. We're going to go to Phoenix, KPHX. Select it there. And let's load our departure. So we're going to be departing runway 27. We are going to be doing the Zoo 2 departure, Imperial transition, and then arriving into Phoenix, we're going to be landing on the runway 8, do the ILS to runway 8, and I believe it was the Hider 1, hogs, and that's as far as we go there. Zoom over here, take a look at map, go to flight plan, and then plan. And we've got to select it. So here we are, San Diego. We'll scoot around, we go over to Jetty, Zoo, whatever these intersections are, all the way over to Imperial, hogs, start our descent down into Phoenix, and make our little jump over here to Jamal. That's for runway 8. And there we go, runway 8, and then we got our go around divert right there. Alright, so that looks good. Let's go back up to the top, take the plan off. I like leaving my flight plan on that screen. Boy, there's a lot of screens in here now, huh? Even with this thing. And this comes with the plane, so you can also bring it up by clicking right there, and there you go. Same thing. I don't know if you can do NaviGraph on here though. No, not sure. I don't think so. But anyway, can on here, which is what we're going to do. All right, so everything's set up. We're ready to start up. Let's go ahead and get our starters on. Generates to auto. We'll get our beacon on, nav lights on, and I'm just double checking my sound here. It's going to be loud for startup, so get ready. All right, here we go. I love that. Alright, let's shut the door. Bring this down here a little bit. You can kind of move it around. I wish you could move it a little bit farther, but it's sort of... You can move it all around like the co-pilot section right here. Alright, and let's go ahead and just double check everything on here. Red door is closed, that's good. Sound we're going to leave up for right now. And let's jump over to NaviGraph. So the way it works here, you go to airport, okay, and I'm going to select K San Diego. Click on here, and there we go. We're loading in all of our good stuff from NaviGraph charts. Take a swig of coffee here. Let's see, so we're going to be doing a departure. We're going to click for our Zoo 2. Now we could look at Zoo 2 over here. We'll let that load up here. But basically, some of the charts allow you to have, you know, your sort of moving maps that will show the plane. Some of them do not. This one in particular, a lot of the approach and departure, you know, SIDS and stars don't allow that for some reason. I guess it's, I don't know what the deal is. So I'm just going to close this one out, and what I'm actually going to select is this overview departure, which it does. And there you can see our little red airplane right there. Let me zoom in on this a little bit better. So there we are, and it basically has all the departures on here, and you can see the Zoo right down here. So we're going to come around Zoo all the way down here over to Imperial, and off we go. So I'm going to keep that one up for right now. And let's see, then I'm going to bring up Phoenix, just so we got everything all set up before we depart. So for Phoenix, we're going to do, let's see, we're going to do the arrivals first. And we're doing Hider 1. And this one, again, does have, you know, moving map, whatever you want to call it. So you will see our plane on here coming along from Hogs, right? Because we did the Hogs intersection. We're going to come all the way down here, turn off to Jamal, and then do our arrival. Okay, come back to Phoenix here. Let's see, and we're doing the ILS. So there, go back. I'm going to do approaches, ILS runway 8. Let that one load up just so we have it ready to go. Come back here, we're going to go back to airport and airport info. There we go. That'll give us our taxi route. So basically, we're going to land runway 8 over here, and we'll see our airplane on it when it's there. All right, so let's just zoom in on this one. Just click the right buttons here. All right, keep an eye on that. And let's get some things fired up here. So strobe lights can come on, taxi lights can come on. Let's get the packs back on. Double check our oxygen right there. And defrosters can stay off right now. I'm going to take a look at my trim tab right here. I like to have it up just about there. I know you can barely see it moving, but it is. And move that sort of out of the way here for a minute. Yep, I'm going to put it right there. Alright, autopilot's everything is off. And we just got to set our transponder, and I'm just going to pick any kind of code here. 3211. We're going to go to altitude because we're departing right over here. So we're just going to go right to altitude. And that's it. Let's get out of here. Okay, parking brake off. Let's spool up the engines here. We're going to start taxiing out here. Flaps to take off. And while we're taxiing out here, we're going to be going up to 24,000 feet. Set that. I always set about 2,500 and 180 for the speed, so looking good. Alright, we've been cleared for takeoff, so lights. Get my landing light on. Lights, camera. That's our transponder and action. We're going to go over to sky view over there. Turn these two off. Flaps are set. Trim tab is set. And the packs are on. Let's line up on the runway here and get on out of here. And I'll turn the sound down again. I know it's loud, but I like to have it up for the departure here. All right, ready to go. Bring the power all the way up. Back just a little bit. Airspeed is alive. All right, takeoff power is set. Bumpy right there, huh? And there's 90 knots. Let's go ahead and get off the ground here. It's pretty windy. Alright, positive brake, gear up. And I'm going to go ahead and put the noise cancelling headsets on over here. There we go. That's a little better. Alright, yaw dampener can come on. Autopilot on. And go ahead and click nav. Get on our Zoo 2 departure here. And what I'm going to do is do indicated airspeed. So we'll speed up to about 150. Get the flaps up. Okay, goodbye San Diego. Let's see if we can see the flaps coming up here. Cruddy day here in San Diego. It's a little bit more cloud cover than this is actually depicting. Alright, we're coming up to our 180 knots here. We'll hold it 180 knots till we get up to close to 10,000 feet or so. Let the autopilot fly this over. Let's grab our chart. There you go. See us coming around. Just double checking, making sure I didn't forget anything, which I usually do. Let's take a look back there. Look at that. Do a departure, do a flyby here. Nice view of San Diego down there. North Island Naval Air Station here. See a couple aircraft, or at least one aircraft carrier right there. Nice rate of climb up here to Zoo 2. Should be nicer in Phoenix, we'll see. It's that had a little bit of a trough push through the area. Some rain showers here in Southern California today. Might see a little bit of that along the route, but we'll be up above it at 24,000. At least we should be. Alright, taking a look at my engines, still at 100%. Good, coming up to 8,000, or 9,000, correction. And I did have the altimeter set, actually. I didn't do that, but it was already set correctly. See, we're kind of cutting across here. Not doing the whole turn. Go punching through some clouds here. Only -1, so I'm not going to use any icing. Come across the South Bay here. And there we go. Clear some of that haze up. Nice view of San Diego Bay. Coronado Bay Bridge right there, curving around. Alright, there's 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and speed up over here. We're going to go up to 210. Zoom out on our displays here. Right, 10,000 feet, landing lights can come off, taxi lights off. So we're passing through some cloud cover here. Still don't know if I like this view. I changed my views around a little bit, but I don't know if I quite like this one. Alright, let's get some more tunes going here for the flight. We got it'll be about it says 56 minutes down here, but we'll speed up, pick that up, and should be just about 45 minutes or so. Turn that down just a tad. Those look good. We'll maintain 210 here for a little while, maybe up until about 17,000 feet or so. Just coming up to Pokey VOR here. You can see Brownfield. There's Tijuana. That Brownfield kind of right over here. Let's get a better look at it here when we go by. The haze doesn't set in. There's the border right there. Tijuana, San Diego. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and we're at 16,000 feet. Let's bump her up to 230 knots. going up to? Again, 24,000 feet today. We should get a good tailwind too. That's why I picked 24,000 feet, because I took a look at the charts, and should have a decent tailwind coming across for pretty much the entire route. Alright, goodbye San Diego. All of your little rain showers. There we go, there's Brownfield. Okay, what's our intersection? We're going to Grinder intersection. Here we are. I'm really enjoying the NaviGraph chart subscription. Like I said, I've been meaning to do it. I have the the database subscription. So for both the databases and the charts, it's like $80 a year. I mean, not too bad. Zoom out on a couple of these. At 18,000 feet, let's go over to standard on the altimeter setting. Start bumping this speed up a little bit more here. We'll go up to 250. The airplane settle in on a climb out here, if it will. Yep. As soon as the speed comes back up. Pretty cruddy looking. Ugh. So I did have another comment, and somebody was saying it's a shame that the plane can't do SIDS and stars, but as you can see, obviously it can. Even if you don't have a NaviGraph data subscription, they do provide you a default one that you put into X-Plane, and so you will have outdated, SIDS and stars and waypoints and everything else. Make sure we're not too loud on all this noise here. Turn that down just a little bit more. Looks like it's clearing out here in the desert, though a bit hazy. Well, we are on our way to Imperial, so what we can do over here, let's see, I want to close that one. So go here, go to search, out of there, go over to maps, and let the default map load over here. The only thing I noticed, at least that I haven't figured out yet, is how to bring up, what do you call it, IFR charts. I think you can do it, I just don't know how, at least from NaviGraph. Now I have different ones in here, so I already have some high altitude southwest here, but that's outside of NaviGraph, right? And we could use this high altitude one, but basically we're going to fly to Imperial, over to Yuma, Bard. We're basically taking this route right here. You can see our hogs. Mohawk, Judith, come up this way somewhere, or maybe it's down this way. At Gila Bend, I think. Can't remember. I don't know. Phoenix. Yeah, I think we come out this way. And I actually do like to have the just a sectional up, so I'm going to bring up the Los Angeles sectional. There we are. And again, these are totally outside of NaviGraph, so this is AviTab charts. So I put those charts into AviTab and I can bring them up. But it is very nice that Aerobask provided this this little iPad, whatever you want to call it. Alright, 21,000 feet, almost 22. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and bump our airspeed up to 270 and go put on throttle hold, or auto throttle, and I'm going to change our rate of climb up here to 1,000. Enter that and go to vertical speed at this time. So we'll do the rest of the climb out that way. And what that does, the auto throttle, it's sort of a hokey auto throttle in this plane. It's kind of slow in reacting. It's more for cruise and descent, not really for climbing out. But with this plane anyway, as long as we're not concerned with fuel, you peg it at 100% here on N2, and that's it. And that's kind of what the auto throttle is doing for us right now. Tunes down just a tad here. So let's start taking a look at our approaches here. So we're doing the ILS to runway 9. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do waypoint info. Let's go over to frequencies. ATIS, we're going to set that in COM1. And I guess we could set where's tower. We got a couple tower frequencies. We'll go for that one. We'll set that in COM2. Not that we need it, because we're not on any network or anything. We're just flying it ourselves here. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to select our runway now. Runway 8, right? And there it is. So we're going to set that to nav1, and we're going to hit the OBS also. So that's ready to go for us. And I'm going to leave my strobes on the whole time. Not even going to touch them. I know everybody that flies the airliners is all like, okay, keep the strobes on while you're climbing and all that stuff, but in real life, I'm sure the airlines have their own procedures, but we're not in an airliner. And usually, at least in real life when I've flown, we leave our strobes on the whole time. Let's see, we might have a little bit of cloud cover we're going to be going through, because we're almost at 24,000. And it looks like we got some clouds up ahead here in the El Centro area. So I'm just going to sync my heading bug here by clicking that. Turn that down just so we can do outside view. Not being too loud. Kind of a nice altitude to have anyway. Just skirting the clouds. You can see El Centro Airport right there, and there's Naval Air Station, El Centro. So our plane is maneuvering around here on our route. Looking out the window of my where I'm sitting, and it's starting to rain again. Oh, dang. Wish I could jump in the plane and head for Phoenix myself. Oh, and there's my favorite airport, Holtzville. Think about this. Yeah, so Holtzville is the only airport I ever did an emergency landing in real life. Right there. Right on that runway and coming down this way. It's an actual World War II sort of abandoned airport now. I think some of the Marine Ospreys still use it, you know, for training. Pretty cruddy heading for Yuma here. See how much longer we got to go here. So 24 minutes. Told you I was going to fly by pretty quick. It's looking dark down there. At least it switches around like that. The more cloud cover you get. Well, let me back up a little bit. So I use Ultra Weather XP, which this is a little hokey part of it. And if you want to see, here's my settings for that. But the more cloud cover you get, the more shadows it casts, and it actually sort of screws with the shaders and whatever. And sometimes it can get a little bit dark below the clouds, which looks real nice from up here. But I don't know. I think it would be lighter here. Alright, let's take a look at our chart here. Let's see if we can center on it. We're almost off of the LA sectional here. But we're going to start turning and going into hogs over here pretty quick. So let's go ahead and close that out. Let's go back to airports and our charts here. Okay. So there's hogs, and you will see us come up to hogs. Leave that right there. And let's take a quick review here. See what our altitudes are going to be like. So we're at 24,000. Well, Judith, they're saying 25 minimum, but well, we got clearance since we're a light jet. So we're going to come in at 24,000 here. We're not going to do Judith, or we're not going to do 20. We'll stay 24,000 feet. Then we'll start our descent at Judith at 22,000 there. 15 to 19 heighter, and then we just kind of work our way down here as we come in and start slowing down also. And then Jamal. Leave that right there. Yeah, still not liking this view. If you saw my other video, I was kind of playing around with the views, trying to set them up, but I think I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to do it right now. See what I'm saying now? All of a sudden it turned brighter here with the weather updating. Here's Yuma. There's the airport right there. That's where I'd taken off from Yuma in real life, and was making my way back to San Diego when I had some engine trouble. Ended up landing at Holtzville. With like, I don't know, half engine power. Right, almost there, coming up to Hogs. And like I said, we're going to maintain 24,000 all the way to Judith. So once we get to Judith, we'll start our descent down. Nice view of the Colorado River. That beautiful ortho. If you look back in my videos on YouTube, I did a video. Unfortunately, part of the video got cut off because the sim crashed, actually. But I did a flight, I think, from Blythe along the Colorado River down here, just showing off the ortho and everything. In like I think it was the 172 or something like that. We should be coming up to Hogs here in 3 minutes. You can see our ground speed right here, 439 knots. Real nice. And as I mentioned, you got SIDS and stars in here. You don't have VNav, so that's the only thing, which is fine for me. I don't mind it. VNav is, so you don't have altitudes in here. No altitudes in the flight plan, and the autopilot will not, descend for you. You got to do that manually by, using the autopilot and, setting your altitudes. But you fly the SIDS and stars just like you normally would. And don't mind that. That's, I forgot what the airport was there. There's a airport out here in the Phoenix area that I downloaded, and I'm missing one of the libraries, so I get that pop up every once in a while, or every time I fly into the scenery area. Alright, coming up to Hogs. Minute and a half. We should see our little airplane appear here. Here we are, just coming onto the screen. I think all that rain that we had in Southern California has definitely started pushing through the desert here to Phoenix. Alright, Judith, we go down to something lower than 22. And what we'll probably do is just set like 16,000 and have a constant descent down over to Hyder. We can get that ready right now. We'll just punch in 16,000 and we will do a descent at let's just do 1200 minus. Always remember to put your minus there. And I'm going to bump my speed down just a little bit because once we start descending, we don't want to get up to 275 in the Eclipse here indicated because it starts to porpoise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my speed. Click on it there. I'm going to set that to 265 just to slow us down a little bit before we start our descent. And I'll hold off on that for a minute here until we actually get to Judith. Can't remember if Judith was right at Gila Bend or if it was one of the other waypoints. Nope, I'm guessing it's one of the other ones. I could be wrong. It's a nice view there. If you're interested in any of the plugins I use, check the description in the video. I think I got them all listed in there. I think I have links to them too, so you can just click on them and it'll take you to the org forums. Link to them. All right. So there's Judith. Let's go ahead and punch in our airspeed. Let the auto throttle bring that back a little bit. And then we're going to go to vertical speed hold. And we said we're going to 16,000 at Hyder. Yep, 16,000 at Hyder. So hit my vertical descent here. Now that we slowed up a tad. This out of the way and wait for our blue line to come up. We want to get that blue line right there at Hyder. So I'm going to go ahead and increase our rated descent here. You see the blue line coming in. Right about there. Alright, good enough. Just before Hyder. Perfect. I wish you had a night mode on here. So the standalone, sorry about that, might have been loud. The standalone NaviGraph charts, you know, they have a little night mode button that inverts the colors so you get a black background. That's bright even in here. Alright, so after Hyder, closer look over here. I'm seeing if the lighting on it changes at all. It's like we got the sun is shining in the cockpit on here and washing it out a little bit, but Okay, 265, which we're already at. And then we start slowing down to 250 once we get to Hydra. Hydra, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Hydra. And then we'll just keep on, we'll just follow these down. Probably set something like, 10,000. And kind of do what we just did. We'll just moderate our blue line here, our rated descent, to get it at the right spot. I'll see if I can remember to point it out, but there's so many like old, World War II era airstrips out here in the desert, and I kind of want to fly into some of them. And there's one on this approach that you can see off on the side once we get a little bit closer to Phoenix. According to this, 10 minutes we'll be on the ground, but we are going to slow up a little bit, so probably about 15 minutes here before we're on the ground at Phoenix. At least the sky is clearing up. And nice. And of course I'm talking with my mic off again. But yeah, Hydra, we're going to descend to 11,250. So set the 250 on the airspeed and 11,000, and then I'm going to start my descent here. I can click on it as we're rolling around here. Do about 1,300 feet minus enter vertical speed. Just come on. It does that when it's kind of swinging around. You'll hear that little bing. Alright, so we got a
Phoenix Sky Harbor INTL information Bravo. 2100 Zulu weather. Wind 190 at 7, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 7,500 few, 18,000 broken, 22,000 scattered, temperature 20, dew point 0. Altimeter 3001. Arriving runways 25 right, 25 left.
3001. And we're going to be a little late right here on that descent, but that's fine because we got, as long as we're below 17,000 here, Then we can go 10,000 way out to Punt. It looks pretty much right on right there. You can see I slowed us down at like 240 knots here, I think. Yeah, because we're going to be going at 230 here in a minute. I'll set that right now, 230 at Punt. I don't know if you can hear that, but the garbage truck is driving by my window. Looking for that airport. I can't remember where it was. Might be a little bit farther out. Alright, let's slow up my descent here. Other way. Alright, so Punt, then 9,000, or correction, 8,000. So let's go ahead and set 8,000 right now. And that's at Teach. So we slow up our descent even more here. Our altitude expected line here. A little bit closer. And we want to be at 210. So let's go ahead and slow ourselves up here. 210. Now we've already got our approach set, so as soon as we get over to Jamil, we'll switch over to the localizer there, the ILS. All right, Teach, then 7,000, 6,000 at Valgo, which is right there. So we can actually just set that right now. We're going to set, correction, 6,000. 6,000, and you can see it comes out pretty close to it. We'll keep this rate of descent in right now, because you want to be at 8,000 at Teach coming up over here. And auto throttle is holding our airspeed. Here's that airport I was talking about right here. Let's take a look at it. Oh, we got a moment. So I don't even know if in X-Plane it's probably dirt. You know, this looks like concrete, old concrete runway. And there's quite a few of them between here and Tucson. I noticed there's a few out heading down towards Tucson way. We're gonna have to take like the Archer or the Warrior out and do some scouting around. Alright, and let's get ready for that. We'll zoom that when we get closer. I noticed that like if you zoom on this chart, it does the same here. So see if I zoom out here, then it's zoomed out over here. That's as far as I can zoom on it right there. Alright, we're coming up to Teach, heading for Tesla, and we're going to 6,000 feet. And 6,000 feet at Valgo. Probably see the airport already in sight, so we're going to increase our rate of descent here. Get that down to right around Valgo. And I think we're clear on our airspeed, 210 all the way to Jamal. There's another look at that airfield right there. Alright, here's Tesla. And we're going to 6,000 at Falco. And then 5,000 at Kagor. Right there. So let's go ahead and reset 5,000. You can see it lines up pretty nicely if you're at your airspeed. I've planned it all out for you. You know, they don't just pick these altitudes out of thin air. They know that at this airspeed, at this distance, at, you know, a given rate of descent, you're going to reach that. Alright, so coming down at 5,000 right here, and then we're going to make our little jink to the left over here for Jamal, at which point we will be right here. And as you can see, there we are on our approach. Got the airport up ahead right here. So we're going to get ready. And what's our altitude here? Jamal 4,000. So let's set 4,000. And you can see it lines up pretty close right there. Down a little bit quicker. Alright, let's get ready for the approach. Starting to get some bumps here. Landing lights are on. Turn our taxi lights on. I have a key for my landing lights, by the way. Alright, come up here. We will go to continuous on the autopilot as we do our little turn. And once we finish that, I'm going to go ahead and sync my heading hold right there. I go over to heading hold. Then I'm going to go ahead and swap over to our approach right here. Use heading hold to go over to Jamal and intercept our localizer there. We're going down to 4,000 feet here. And you can see our glide slope starting to come down. Once we're within 1 dot, I will switch over to approach mode. Here's 1 dot. I'm going to hit approach. Bring the speed back to about 180 or so. There we go, we're intercepting the localizer glide slope intercept right there. Bring it back down to, come on, actually come back down to 150 airspeed, and you're coming down. And we're a little bit fast here. I should have held off there a second. I'll hold off on the flaps for a minute. Here we are, scooting along on the approach. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and get all our sound up. So you can hear all that goodness. Keep that one down a little bit. Kill the music for the approach. Not too loud. Alright, flaps, first notch, down at 150. Yeah, and it looks good on the glide slope and the localizer here. Got a bit of a crosswind here from the right. Alright, 4 miles. Go to full flaps. Alright, landing checklist here. Starters are on continuous. Landing light is on. Recognition. Taxi lights on. Gear is down. 3 green. Flaps are set for landing. Clear to go. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take off auto throttle. And I'm going to use the throttle myself. Throttle's mine. I'm going to start throttling back here and get slowed up to about 110. Yaw dampener can come off. Check, 500 feet. We're going to hold 110. Alright, airplane's mine, autopilot off. Flight director off. Start bringing it back to about 100 knots. That wind wants to knock me around there a little bit. Alright, let's get cleaned up, flaps up. See if we can't make this turn off right here. Alright guys, welcome to Phoenix. Hope you enjoyed that. Landing light can come off. Let's go ahead and turn down here. We're actually going to taxi down to the other side of the terminal, and then we'll do a quick replay. Call it a night here. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I want to see us taxiing over here. Look at that, there we are. So we're going to turn. We'll turn over here at Charlie 7. Bring this out here. While we're doing that, strobes can come off. Actually, you know what? I think we'll just park it right over here. How's that? You get the idea. There you can see our plane right there. Very helpful with taxiing around. I was actually going to taxi to the other side of this part of the terminal here. Park it right over there, but we're going to park it over here. VIP parking right here. We're even going to have somebody guiding us in. I was going to park, like I said, down on the other side, but just for the heck of it, we'll park it right here. And we're not even going to bother with him. Alright, brakes on. Get that out of the way. Let's go ahead and shut her down here. Nav lights off. Beacon can come off. Taxi lights off. And pop that open. Let's go ahead and pop the door open. reset some of this stuff here. Alright, generators off, starters off, bus ties off, and that off. Alright, let's jump into a replay. Let's see, do it right. There we go. Oh, wrong one. Nope, didn't want to do that either. There we go. Let's back it up to here. Look at that. I think we should have left our door open, or closed. Here, let's do this. Let's close our doors. Yeah, we can't. Well, we're in replay mode. All right. Well, we're just gonna have to wing it. There we go. Probably gonna be a little loud. I think we'll do this view here. I'll have to remember that because I don't think I've done a replay with this guy before. Turn down some of that noise there, huh? Well guys, if you like that, hit the like button, smash it down, it helps with the channel, and if you're new, subscribe to the channel, and you'll see more X-Plane 11 videos like this one. And I do stream occasionally with my ugly mug in the corner. My webcam today was on the fritz, so that's why you don't see me here. You know what, let's do an outside view. Let's see. Yeah, look at that, it closed our door for us. Awesome. I think it's because I had it paused. Let's get down a little bit closer here. Okay, zoomed out a little bit too much. We'll do a couple of replays here. Can't make a bad landing in this airplane. You can see that crosswind there. Oh yeah, one more replay. Do the tower view. We'll zoom in on it. Like I said guys, hit the like button and appreciate that much. If you got a comment, post it in the comments of the video. I do reply to almost all the comments, unless they're not really relevant. But I do appreciate the comments too. So if you have a question or anything, you know, post it down there. You will get a reply. Till next time guys, take care.